Australian Aboriginal bush medicine has been practiced for hundreds of years and incorporates the natural elements that are found within the plant life and other valuable resources that are accessed through the environment. Bush medicine has been incorporated into Western medicine and its practices since the colonization of Australia and has continued to be practiced throughout the northern rural regions of Australia. Traditional Aborigines believe the causes of illnesses are either natural, environmental, direct, indirect, supernatural, and/or emergent Western causes. Traditional bush medicines entail remedies for the common ailments such as headaches, body aches, burns, bites, diarrhea, common colds, and fevers. When European colonists were introduced to the lands of Australia, they had also brought many new diseases that affected the current medicinal practices of Aborigines or the lack of practices for these new diseases. Healers within Aboriginal societies withhold special powers to be able to see into the body of their patients. Healers not only deal with physical problems, but emotional ones as well. Healers are mostly compromised of men, but there is wide use of knowledge of healing plants by all Aboriginals. A healer inherits his or her healing power through ancestral powers or exhibiting special powers at an early age. Certain beliefs have led practices that occur more frequently to prevent illnesses. For example, cooling of the body is needed when a person is suffering from hunger or thirst, leading them to have a hot heart. In order to maintain balance, one must keep the body cool. This is done by eating, drinking water, and also a mixture of red ochre, an animal fat that is rubbed on the body, and sometimes the consumption of animal blood. Another traditional widespread practice is the smoking of infants. The belief is that smoking rituals have a long-term effect and make babies strong and placid. Also causes the umbilical cord to shrivel off the newborn and helps stop the bleeding within the mother. This is a practice that is traditionally performed by mothers and grandmothers over a fireless herbal smoke pit. Aboriginal medicinal practices and plant uses come in many forms, such as infusion, decoction, direct mechanical crushing, maceration, and an emollient with a combination of emu and kangaroo fat. There is a good amount of a broad spectrum or multi-use plants that are used for medicinal purposes, such as emu bushes, lemongrasses, and melaleuca trees. Most of the medicinal practices are applied externally except for the essential oil of lemongrass, which is swallowed in an infusion. One of the main plants that has been used is the melaleuca tree, specifically for the essential oil that is within the seeds, flowers, leaves, and bark. The leaves or bark is crushed and applied to the wounds or is infused to a drink for throat ailments, also coughs and colds. The tea-infused beverage was also considered to purify the blood. The oil is considered to be antiseptic and has been incorporated into Western medicine practices. The eucalyptus tree is another multi-use medicinal plant. The bark and foliage are used in smoking practices for skin absorption of aromatics. The gum of the eucalyptus is used as an infusion to heal colds and fevers. It is also used for washing sore eyes and putting topically onto wounds. This is another plant that has been integrated into Western medicine practices and personal care products such as toothpaste and mouthwash. The emu bush, which is generally a small shrub that grows alongside riverbeds and floodplains. It is also referred to as dogwood for a certain smell of urine that it produces. The roots and leaves are infused, decocted, and consumed to cure illnesses of diarrhea, headaches, and fatigue. This could also be used as an eye wash and also as an anesthetic for toothaches. The root extraction could be used in forms of topicals to heal skin ailments such as boils, infected sores, and scabies. Lemongrass is a broad-spectrum plant which is also grown widely throughout Australia. The leaves are crushed and inhaled for various respiratory ailments and clearing of nasal passages. This is one of the few infusions that is swallowed and not needed to be prepared fresh each day. The infusion is used every day in order to maintain health and while on a walkabout. The infusion can also be used to treat scabies, cuts, headaches, and fevers. Snake vine is grown throughout the northern regions of Australia. The berries are used for ailments such as headaches, stings, and arthritis. The pulp of the berries is rubbed on the head or sting, where there is inflammation of the joints. There has also been found to have an anti-inflammatory component that is desirable for pharmacologists. Quinine is a small tree that's bark and flowers are made into a tonic to heal fevers and malaria. The properties within this plant are astringent and antiseptic. The bark has been used to treat sore eyes. This plant is not to be swallowed or consumed. It can relieve toothaches just by being placed in the mouth. Cocky apple is grown throughout the northern and western regions of Australia. This has been the richest fruit in vitamin C. having over 50 times more than an orange. Red liquid that has been extracted from the bark has been put over burns that occur while sleeping near fires. The cocky apple tree is also called a billy-goat plum or a cockatoo plum. Bush billies, which are made out of bark containers in order to hold water. Heated stones were also used and added to water for heating infusions. When European settlers had come to Australia, they not only brought new diseases, but they brought technology and tools such as pots, glass, metal containers for storage. This helped by improving the herbal remedies that had been used and allowed for a better storage system of infusions, tonics, and dried plants. Within Aboriginal communities today, there is a separation of the cause of disease from either the Aboriginal cause or a Western cause. Aborigines use a combination of the two medicinal practices since they coexist within the rural and urban communities. For general ailments, like the ones we have just discussed, and also may encounter more frequently, Aborigines turn to bush medicine for relieving these symptoms and obtain cures for natural illnesses, versus the Western illnesses where they may seek Western healing practices. With the rise of Western medicine and colonization within Australia, Aborigines didn't lose touch with their native medicinal practices. It has always been understood that Aborigines had a holistic perspective on health interweaving with physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Aborigines had felt that the practice of bush medicine was an enabler in maintaining their connections and beliefs on culture, ancestors, and spirituality. There is a deeper relationship and connection to the land with the use of bush medicine. Some Aborigines feel that they must protect the knowledge of bush medicine and aren't public with their knowledge, due to the exploitative habits of Western medicine. Aborigines have stated that bush medicine is good for your insides, just as a cleanser. It makes all your internal organs healthy and strong. It gets rid of internal stress. Stress has been acknowledged by many Aboriginal people to specifically cause cancer. Specifically, with the land being taken away, the stolen generations, people have encountered stress and fallen into a state of depression, leading to a rise of cancer. These herbal remedies have helped with the general ailments, but couldn't do much for the new diseases like cancer that were introduced to their territory. Aborigines suffering from cancer do incorporate the use of both medicinal practices but tend to prefer one or the other. Some are scared of the intensive treatments of the Western methods such as chemotherapy along with the side effects. Also, women would prefer not to take time away from the home and family. Perceptions of the use of bush medicine validate the healing qualities of both bush medicine and Western medicine in some Aboriginal communities. There are some Aborigines who have little to no knowledge of where to gain access to bush medicine, or were unsure of the process of taking it. This alienation and disconnection to ancestral knowledge is due to the impact of colonization and westernization throughout history. This caused a loss of culture, the relationship with the land, language, and ultimately tradition within Aboriginal communities. The influences of Christianity also played a role within the assimilated Aboriginals. Even after the rise of Western medicine in the 21st century, there is still about 70% of contemporary cultures that rely on herbal remedies. 1 in every 4 Western proprietary medicines owes its origins to a medicinal plant. The adoption and integration of traditional indigenous medicinal practices into the Western medicine practices has been deemed as medical pluralism. The two systems of traditional and Western medicine can blend together in beneficial harmony, using the best features of each system and compensating for certain weaknesses in each.